Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our channel, my channel, Universal Businesses Limited Soulism and Spiritualism channel. Today we're going to discuss more in detail about the soul and spirit, and we mentioned last time that we talked about natural elements to the religion. Today we're going to discuss now the power and the emphasis of sound on the soul and spirit. The soul and spirit can be attenuated, tuned in to the frequency of sounds, which can give it a vibrancy and elevation, and or it can sink the soul and spirit down if it is the frequency is downwards. So it can deflate the soul. So let's talk about the sound and how it affects the soul and spirit. The soul and spirit, like I mentioned, is connected to the body, and the body is connected to the outside world that we live in. And when we hear sounds, they can be of various elements, but they could be from the road, traffic, natural sounds from Mother Nature. They can be sounds from people, sounds from other sources even. So there's so many variety of sources of sounds, obviously. So let's now discuss the how it affects the soul and spirit. The soul and spirit is has a frequency, and it has a natural frequency and a spiritual frequency, and the spiritual frequency is it gives its spiritual element. So the soul and spirit is connected in that way. Let's talk about now the effect of the sound on the sound on the soul and spirit. The sound and soul and soul and spirit both connect, and that gives it a frequency of vibration. The frequency of vibration can be positive or negative, and the frequency, if the sound is of a negative nature, then it will give the frequency, the sound that will give the frequency of the soul a negative properties, a negative characteristic. The soul vibrates to the external sound, and that sound has a spiritual base once it affects the soul. So like we mentioned, that these sounds, like energy flows to the earth, can be positive and negative and positive, and so the sounds can also be a flow to the soul, positive or negative positive, and sometimes the sound can also be neutral, so it could be neutralized sound, neutral sounds which neutralize the spirit, soul and spirit. So let's talk about the power of music. The power of music is very good for the soul and spirit, which is also good for the mind. And like we mentioned, the mind and soul are interconnected, and the soul is a frequency that is vibrating according to the musical notes that come from the musical instrumentation. and also the sound from voices like singers. The songs affect the soul and spirit. Um, so it is very important to listen to music that is positive in nature, or has some kind of mysterious element to it, which can create a creativity within the soul and spirit, and create a positive flow within the soul and spirit. But if you desire to listen to negative sounds, negative music, negative notes, then that musical sound will also affect the soul and spirit negatively. Um, like I mentioned, I would like to mention that yesterday I was listening to, as an example, Westlife and their song "Looking Like That," and my soul immediately elevated to a higher plateau. Well, there is no plateau because the soul can elevate to any level, and there's unlimited levels. And yes, my soul elevated to a higher level, and I was very tremendously pleased with the music that I was listening to, and the song I was listening to. So yes, that is the benefit of music. It can affect it positively. Sometimes I listen to negative music, and that will make my soul and spirit negative, and my mind negative. But then, sometimes you got to have a balance of positive and negative musical interests, because it gives us the soul and spirit a more well-rounded structure in that sense. So you are now listening, and I'm giving you this broadcast and this lecture. This is the religion that I created, Soulism and Spiritualism religion, and you're most welcome to follow it. And in our next broadcast, we will talk more about Soulism and Spiritualism, and carry this forward. I would be grateful if you could please subscribe to my channel, or make a donation to keep our religion, to keep it running. I am also, we, Universal Business Limited, and me are also interested in starting a commune or a community where we can all gather and either meet up, or live within the accommodations that we shall build. So I would be most welcome if you can make a donation and help our religion. So and remember, we mentioned very important the natural element of our religion, and we also mentioned in the last broadcast about imbecilism. But remember, it's not imbecilism, it's more to do with ignorance. So let's clarify that, and it's not to be in any way derogatory or offensive in any manner. So we shall provide more broadcasts in the future, and we have unlimited broadcasts, because this is an infinite, unlimited religion, and so I wish you a good afternoon, and remember, stay spiritually focused, stay spiritually pure, and stay spiritually infinite. Thank you.